Okay, guys, so um, this video, I'm going to go ahead and tackle Jason Aldean's controversial song, Try That in a Small Town. Um, it's been in the news 2 or 3 weeks now. Um, and we've heard everything. We've heard all the commentary and all of that. Some people like it, some people don't. Many people have labeled it racist. Many people have labeled Jason racist. And I think more people not than have, but still, the implication is out there. And so, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about, is the song racist? I want to talk about really the reason why I personally think people are labeling it racist, and come from that perspective. Um, Now, I did hear the song. Um, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, I listened to the song just to hear it, so that I could talk about it, but also um, so that I could bring a perspective on the song. Excuse me one moment. I'm something tickling my throat. Forgive me, guys. But so anyway, I want to talk about that and bring about the perspective, something that hopefully another way that you guys can look at this and view this, and let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. But so I think the first thing to tackle is the song racist, overtly racist, subtly racist, any of that, or is it the implication of it being racist? Now, I personally think, like I said, I did hear the song. I personally think it's more of an implication that people are kind of getting upset about, those who are upset. Um, I didn't hear anything overtly racist in the actual song lyrics. Um, Now, coming to the video, we know that I guess Jason's people were asked to take out some of the Black Lives Matter footage, and then it was some implications about the church, not the church, the courthouse, that it was being like a backdrop for. Whoa. I don't know what's going on with my throat, y'all. Forgive me, please. Um, but anyway, that was removed. And then another version of the song came out, I guess, without the that courthouse stuff. The footage on top of the courthouse. I think the courthouse had been some type of racist something, or used for in history. I read about it. I didn't come prepared to talk about that in this part of the video. Um, Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um, like I say, I listened to the song. I didn't hear anything overtly racist. Um, and I think where the implication is, I think where the discrepancy is the fact that historically, and I want to talk about it because I pulled up an article, um, not a long article, but I am going to read it to you guys. But historically, we know, being black in America, we know historically small towns have been linked to some really racist stuff, some really backwood stuff, um, finding, black people dead, finding bodies lynched back off in the woods and little small I mean, just, we know the history. And so what I personally think is that it's more, I think it brings up a fear in people that maybe Jason's song is hinting to some of that backwoods racism type stuff. Um, because literally at the end of the day, like I say, we do know that historical um, implication of small towns. You know what I'm saying? Good old boys and Confederate flags and pickup trucks and I like we know, and you can call it a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? That's fine with me. But either way, historically there has been an implication. Now, I think the fear is that people are kind of equating that history with the song. And I honestly think maybe people kind of jump to conclusions and kind of let their own mind and fear kind of listen to the song for them. When in actuality, if you listen to the song, um, like I said, I didn't hear anything overtly racist. I heard things about small town community where certain things you're just not going to be able to get down the road with doing that in a small town because the people there are very close knit. A lot of them are families and so forth, and a lot of them want those simple values that are in the town. A lot of them, that's why they're there. You know what I'm saying? Like they have probably been there most of their life for generations. Um, they really don't care much for big cities and all the crap that go on in big cities. And they, even if they work in a big city, many times they come back and they retreat to their small towns where people are still sipping iced tea on the front porch and people are, couples married 50, 40 years who are sitting on the front porch waving at everybody as they pass by. All the children know each other. Everybody grew up together. Now, small towns are not just white. You know what I'm saying? There are black small towns. I lived in one when I was married with my ex. We went to a small town in Mississippi, no doubt. And I mean, it was a small town. I'm talking about they had one post office. There were two schools, um, elementary and then middle and high school were together. One police station with like two cars. Um, Downtown was so small that like downtown is probably from my bedroom to my front door. Like this apartment is pretty big, but still just a straight shot. You finna go in and you finna go out, and that's downtown. And so, and a lot of that town was it was a mixed town. Honestly, it was very mixed. Um, People interacted with each other and so forth, but at the end of the day, it was still a small town. And I think the biggest town, if I'm not mistaken, I probably shouldn't even got into this because now I got to think about it. Biloxi, I'm not really sure. I would honestly have to look at a calendar too, not a calendar, a map to really remember. Uh, but yeah, that's the feel. That's the implication of a small town. The people, their thoughts, their ideas. They really don't want nothing to do with the city and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, kind of like what Jason said. When you come with all of the stuff, the lyrics and so forth that um, are in the song, and we know the things that happened in the Black Lives Matter and those protests and everything during that time. And when you put the lyrics that he said in there and tell people to try that kind of stuff in a small town, honestly and truly, the dude is right. And I mean, like I'm saying, I want you guys to really listen with an open ear. What about it is wrong? I mean, you're not going to go to a little small town and do a lot of the stuff that you do in the big city. That's just really a given. Like, you're not going to do that. Most of us stay away from small towns unless we are driving through or have to go there for some reason or whatever. And at the end of the day, you still conduct yourself differently. I mean, people watch you, people see you. Everybody know that's a whole new car coming in here. Like, who is that? Like, everybody watching you. It's not like the big city where it's a free for all to really to do anything and you can go and hide. You can't really hide in no small town. Everybody know you're different. When me and my ex went to the small town that we were living in, you know, we were telling them that we came um, well, we came from the big city. I don't want to tell my city, but we came from the big city, and we had people after people like, "Well, what you doing here?" Like they weren't being nasty or ugly. They were just like, "So why would you come here? Like you were in such and such, and you came here. Like why?" So yeah, we had to answer that question. Me personally, I love small towns. Like I love small towns. I love the neighborliness of it. I love the only thing I really didn't like and don't like about a small town is everybody know your business. Everybody know your business, and it could be a problem, you know, because people still go and twist stories and turn stuff around and put their opinions on things like that. And so that was one of the drawbacks that I didn't like about the small town. Um, and if I'm going to be honest, we're not, I kind of sidebar a little bit, but I'm going to get right back up talking about the song. And I'm really painting a picture for you guys. Um, it was because it was Mississippi. Yeah, it was racism there. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? It was integration and everything, but I did see a lot of racism, and honestly, I saw a lot of overt racism, like just right there in your face. What you gonna do about it? Type racism. You know what I'm saying? But once again, it's Mississippi. Like some of these things, we just have to not accept, but realize it is what it is. Like small town in Mississippi is not going to be like, you know, Detroit or Chicago or something. Like it's not going to be the same way. And that's just something that you have to realize, and you have to really um, be honest about. It's not the same. It's different. And so, with that being said, I think the some of the issue is that people are equating that song and the lyrics and the implication to that more than likely to what we call, or what used to be called, sundown towns. Now, a sundown town, just to make it, just from my perspective, and then I'm going to read something, is really a town and a time back when black people were not welcome in certain areas in America, and literally you got until sundown to get the hell out of there, or it's not going to be good for you. It is what it is. That's the way it was, and that's it still is, honestly, in some of those towns. Um, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And black people know you just don't go through there. Like you just, or if you do go through there, you better drive on quick and get the heck on up out of there. Uh, oh my God, I wish I could remember the name of that little town. Was it? I don't know if it was Vida. I think it might. It was Vida. Vida, Texas. Vida, Texas is where James Byrd, back I think in the '80s, was literally drugged behind a truck. Um, that's the kind of, yeah. That was one of them little towns, and I remember in some of our traveling, me and my ex, I don't know even how we even got on the road to go there, or where we were going. Like, I don't even know how we got there, but Yeah, we rolled on through there. We literally rolled right on through there, and it was tense. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it was our own minds, but it was tense because we already knew. So I want to read this to you guys, as not to prolong the video. Sundown towns are communities in which Black people were not welcome. These towns openly discriminated against Black residents and visitors, and violence was a common tactic. The name comes from signs that used to be posted telling minorities to be gone before the sunset for the day. While this sounds like it might be a uniquely Southern phenomenon, it wasn't. Sundown towns aren't endemic to just one region or state. Um, Sundown towns may seem like relics of a bygone era, but they aren't. They are still with us. They're found in states all across the country, but one region, the Midwest, has the highest concentration according to historical records. Um, let's see here. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, maybe was that the it for the? It might be it for the. I think that's it. I think that's it. I thought the article was going to say more, but at the end of the day, that's the gist of it. You get it. You understand. Very short article, but yeah, that's what it was, and it wasn't necessarily just Black people. It was all people with brown skin. We know Black Americans, or Africans, or whatever. We're not the only ones with dark skin, and I think it probably more than likely went for all of us with brown skin, but of course more so us, Black Americans. Now, um, I think, like I said, that is what people put in their mind when they start thinking about that Jason Aldean song. They start thinking about sundown towns and good old boys, Confederate flags, and big trucks, you know. And that's really not what this song was talking about. From what I heard, my perspective, me listening to the lyrics, what I heard was a protection of the residents there in that town. You know, um, they look after their own, and that's true. Like I said, when you go through a small town, we all know. Everybody know each other. Like they know when it's a different truck. They know when it's a different car. They know when you're different walking around in their town. They know that. And so, yeah, you're under scrutiny. You're under, like, the police probably might come by, pull up on you. What you doing here? Where you coming from? Where you going? You know what I'm saying? And it is a way for them to continue to preserve their lifestyle. They don't like the big city. They don't want to have anything to do with all the crime, sex, drugs, whatever that's going on in the big cities. And at the end of the day, we know all of that stuff is going on in the big city. Um, like I said personally, if I could live in a nice small town, maybe not too far from a big city, only for like purposes of transportation and being able to move around. I wouldn't want to be too far deep into a small town unless I was married again or something like that. Because being a single woman is it's not always the safest. But I'll tell you this here, I would honestly think that a single woman, even a single Black American woman, would be a whole lot safer in a small town uh, community than being in the big city. It just is what it is. Riding the buses, riding the subways, and things like that, just walking up and down the street, you are a victim. You are a target. You are easy access for crime and for somebody to do something to you in a small, tight knit community like that. That kind of stuff really just doesn't happen. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't rapists, there aren't murderers, there aren't um, bad people in small towns, but what I'm saying is that everybody know each other. and everybody is watching out for each other. And so everybody, like, somebody gonna know, you know what I'm saying? Other than just in a big wide city, they gotta, you gotta get the police, you gotta get a description or whatever. In a small town, you can pretty much, they're gonna solve that crime pretty quickly, unless it's an outsider. You know what I'm saying? So just being honest, from my perspective, I would feel a lot safer in a small town than here in a big city. Like I just really would. I encourage and have said it before to Black American women, come out of these big towns, come out of these big cities, especially with high Black male populations. Come out of them. You are a target. You are a victim. That a lot of them are there watching. They're going to see in a small town when they uh watch you and know you and whatever. That's because, oh, that's so and so over there. She went to the store. She getting her groceries out the car. Whatever. So it's a like they know you from that. Like they see you. They watch you every day. They probably know your patterns and things like that. Now, I would much rather that. I would much rather that than to be in a big city, in a big apartment complex or something where you have a big, high amount or a high population of males who are sitting around unemployed, not doing anything, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and they're just outside and just looking and watching what you do, watching when you go to work, whatever. Because more than likely that, like, they're not trying to look out for you. They're looking out for when you can be a victim. They're looking out for when you're not at home, or they're looking for when you do come home. And a lot of times, they're going to break in or try to break in or try to, do something violent to you. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that about just the whole big city in general, but we know that there is a difference. We know there's way more crime in a big city, duh, because it's more people. You know what I'm saying? But I really encourage, like I said, Black American women, especially, to get to smaller, tightly close knit communities. I really do. That don't mean all white. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't comfortable with that, it don't. I get somewhere that's mixed. You know what I'm saying? Or get somewhere even in a smaller town where there are a lot of Black people. Because, like I said, when we were in that town in Mississippi, it was mixed, but like the side that I was on, I guess, it was Black people. There was a lot of Black people there. And yeah, I felt safe. I felt comfortable and everything. Of course, I had my husband at that time. So I felt more safe with him. And, 'cause first of all, he knew the people, like that we were there because he knew the people. And so I was okay. You know what I'm saying? And would go back. I would absolutely go back. I found during our travels, there was a little small town in North Carolina that was once again the same thing. It was a mixed little town, and we found a nice, beautiful little house with two little rose gardens on the side of the house. It was really big on the inside. It was actually a double wide trailer that was, like uh, into the ground. You know what I'm saying? And it was nice. It was so nice. I love that house. I did not want to leave. I did not want to leave. If I had had the opportunity to stay there or come back to the big city, whatever, I would still be in that little house. I'm not even lying. I would still be in that house. Took us maybe about 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever to get to the store, to the grocery store, because there was some long country roads, but I didn't mind. You know what I'm saying? I liked it. Like, even just doing that, going to the store, you got all this nice scenic view, beautiful um, green grass, and you know the beautiful landscape. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I'm gonna cut the video off. That is my opinion of uh, try that in a small town. At the end of the day, was Jason lying? He wasn't lying. There are certain things that you are not going to go to a small town and do. It just is what it is. And it is because everybody watching out for each other. Everybody know each other. And, even in a small town, you got a lot of people, they're not working, they're retired and stuff like that. That's a lot of times what also makes up a small town is a lot of people, once they leave the big city or once they retire or something, they try to go somewhere so they can relax and, not have to worry about anything. And they go for that tight knit community. You know what I'm saying? They go for the friendship and the fellowship where people are, like I say, still you can drive down the road and they waving to you from the front porch and drinking some iced tea or something like that, or bringing neighbors food. You don't have that here in the big cities. You don't have that. You know what I'm saying? I would not eat. If I did have neighbors who came and brought me some food or whatever to welcome me to the community, which that doesn't happen anymore. But like I say, if that were the case, I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't eat it. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? A small town, a small knit community where, people may be there to, they really are like a family. I would eat something like that more so than I would from somebody in a big city. I'm just being honest. Um, I don't know if I'd eat it at all, knowing me, because I have been in the city and from the big city pretty much all my life. And so my trust is like this. My trust is bad. So it would take me a while. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know, I think it's the implication of the song. I think it puts a fear in people of what he may be like trying to say. You know what I'm saying? But here's the other point, and I think I may have made the point already. I'm gonna cut the video off. The point that I really want to make with this video is Jason didn't go and pull out any kind of new footage or anything from the videos. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was stuff that happened. He talked about stuff that actually happened. Spitting on cops, disrespecting cops, breaking in things, hurting people. And we know it, but that I'm not even trying to say that that was just black people. We know there was a lot of people coming from different communities and organizations, and there was people who was being recruited to come to those cities and do the stuff that they were doing. There were, people were talking about how last night we went to bed, we were fine. Next time we wake up in the morning, it's a big old thing of bricks here. Next thing you know, somebody just start throwing bricks. Where did it come from? And who are these people? There were a lot of that. And I don't know if everybody remember, but there was a lot of that. A lot of outsiders and influencers who came into into these cities during the protest and disrupted. They're disruptors. You know what I'm saying? So we know that. We heard about that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as anything that Jason or his song implemented, or that was in his video, those are things that actually happened. Like, he didn't go and invent anything and say anything in the video that we didn't already see from the footage. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about my commentary. Let me know what you think about the song. Let me know if you agree with me that it's more of the implication of fear and that whole sundown town stuff and the historical issues that black people have had with racism in this country. Or do you think people are just completely blowing things out of proportion and just, making Jason popular and giving him a bunch of money for this song? Because that's what's happening. Um, One last thing. I see a lot of black men who are talking about this and who are talking about like the the video, I see them agreeing with Jason. Like I haven't seen uh I really haven't seen any black, especially male, who those seems to be the victims of the black community. Those seem to be the targets of police and everything. But I don't see, I haven't seen the video channels where black men were mad and complaining and stuff like that. If you all do, hit me, give me a link, let me know, and I will certainly watch what they're saying. The videos and things that I have seen from black men on this Jason Aldean song is they like the song, they singing along with the song, they know Jason Aldean songs, they singing along with Jason Aldean songs. Like, they don't see nothing racist about it. And so if they don't see nothing racist about it and they seem to be the biggest victims in the black community and the biggest victims in America, if they're the target, they don't see a problem. I don't see why the rest of us are bringing about a problem that isn't there. So that's just how I see it. You guys, thank you for listening and watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit all notifications so that you know whenever I upload new videos. Um, Leave me a comment, and until the next video, we'll see you next time.